He particularly always plays laning phase as well, and I want to see just kind of how he utilizes it, because Jayce is a very lane dominant champion, and if you play it in a certain way, like, you really suffocate the enemy laner to the point where, like, they just feel like there's nothing they can do, and it really can accrue leads very, very quickly. So I think there's going to be a lot you could learn by watching a player like this playing Jayce, particularly lane dominant. So he actually spotted here. You can see he spotted that they invaded and they put the ward down. He recalled to get sweeper, so that way he could sweep that ward and get an XP advantage. That already gives him the he can hit level 2 on the first wave, which is already a lane dominant champion. Like, he can play very aggro into the Vex at level 2. Like, he can chunk her really hard. And there's not really much of an opportunity to get ganked with this matchup. Like, Vex shouldn't be able to actually set the Jayce up for any real gank attempt by a Bel'Veth at level 2. So he doesn't really need the ward himself. If he can sweep the wards, like, it's way better for Gragas to be coming in a vision, no vision, than the Bel'Veth. You can see here, he's trying to make sure that anytime. Let's see here. I'm gonna turn off Fog of War too, so that we're only seeing what he's saying. But what he's gonna try and do is he's gonna try and make sure he misses no minions. See, until he can get a good recall off. This game and more being streamed over on my Twitch. Submit your games in my Discord for review. See here. Where's he going? I think he was bluffing that he possibly was scouting topside jungle. Or he's playing safe in a way, but he's his Bel'Veth bot. I think there's something going on personally with him. I don't think it's an important thing. He just made a decision. Might have been typing to somebody. Now, Jayce can't really hop onto this Bel'Veth, just because Bel'Veth can just press W to fear him. Now that she doesn't have the fear up, now he can look for it. But anytime she has the fear up, he can't look to hammer form onto her, just because she'll get a good fear trade back off of him. So looks like he's drawing Bel'Veth here. That Bel'Veth's so low. He's trying to force a fight here, but unfortunately, Gragas wasn't really in range. He had to burn his own flash. You can see right there, that's why he wasn't hammer forming earlier. It's just because how much damage the Vex can really do back to him in such a short period of time while he's being feared. Now, they want to get this fight off like together. Collects a good shutdown onto the Bel'Veth. Now, because the Vex is pretty like, he should be pretty safe here. Wants to make sure this wave doesn't crash, but he doesn't. He wants to freeze it so he can get a good TP off. Actually, he's gonna want to clear it so he can get a TP off. He actually doesn't care about freezing it. The Vex wants to get it shoved in, which is drawing or keeping her in the lane. But as long as he doesn't let her do that, he can keep her here overextended, which lets him look for a gank angle. Just because she's pretty Unfortunately, there was no real kill, so he didn't want to use his acceleration gate. Wants to stay as long as possible. He's sitting on 1400. Probably looking to get a Dirk. Wants to be able to get Dirk and tier, which is going to be enough, I think, for this. So now, full clears the wave, gets a huge wave collapsing on them. Collects the TP from the Vex. Might not have to TP back himself just because of that. Should be able to probably walk it back. He might decide to TP just for wave tempo. Gets his tier, gets his serrated Dirk. Probably would want to swap to his sweeper off to Yellow Trinket, but keeps the sweeper just because he wants to set up angles where the Vex doesn't feel like she can actually go forward. He can clear the vision in the side lanes to let the Gragas use the mid lane as a kill lane. You can see how smooth there. He just dodges all of her moves, and intentionally they're very slow, and then uses all of his range damage to just get a lot of damage down on her. Because he's also got this red buff, he's able to really harass her really hard. Thresh is coming to collect his cannon. Able to get this big wave in. Now he can pretend to have a roam if he will like, or he can look for getting a big shock blast on the Vex. Lands it. Keep cashing in with that first strike. Makes him really far ahead. Especially it's really good on Jayce because you can abuse it on the enemy laners. You hit them with accelerated shock blast. That's about 15 or 16 gold every single time you do it. Every 12 seconds or so. Because the Vex was in such a low HP, she felt pressured. She had to recall, which means he was able to shove in a wave that was not a cannon wave and collapse it in a tower. Vex is going to miss the entire wave. Already, you can see he's already accruing a pretty big lead himself. So personally, he has an 800 gold lead just because of the Bel'Veth shutdown and the waves that he's been dying. He also has not missed a cannon wave. Actually, it looks like he is lagging. He's pinging here that his MS is like hopping up to 203, which is probably why he's been playing not like the most optimally. So he's trying to make the most of like some weird lag issue going on with him as well. But he's still playing in a way where he's generated a 700 gold lead himself. Like, it's very impressive that that's happening while he's lagging. Gonna collect out on a plate. Sees that Bel'Veth or Vex has gone by. I keep seeing Bel'Veth. Probably gonna actually get 2 plates before Vex can even really make it back. Then the tower plates reduction is gonna pop in, so it's gonna be really hard to get a third. Cashing in that first strike on CD whenever he can, if he can get an accelerated shock blast into her. Just really, really trying to create a huge lead himself. And you can see here, because that Vex just like didn't optimally land the her Q, she like had to burn an extra Q just to last hit that minion, which is already like there's a mana lead as well for as well as like a health lead for Jayce. Vex felt like she had to recall here, which is she recalled not on a cannon wave again. Like, it's very important. You'll see that this player will never like take a bad reset. Like he always looks to reset on cannon waves. And that's why like he just creates such huge leads over his opponents. Threatening that he could roam bot lane. Didn't know if he really saw a kill angle or not, so he's kind of baiting to see if Vex will try and walk by, and he can maybe like walk into her face and catch her and get a huge chunk off. Get some big damage off. Probably is looking for a reset soon, so he's just trying to get as much gold from his first strike as possible. Coming to actually collect the honey fruits as well, so that way he's more healthy than the Vex is. Because he keeps like shock blasting from these side angles, the Vex doesn't really feel like she can even pressure the turret without taking a huge amount of damage. She is going to look like she's probably roaming top lane here, but if she does, like, he's just going to get another 2 turrets. Or another 2 turret plates. Yeah. Looks like we see Bel'Veth top. I'm assuming we're going to see Vex there. Looks like Vex is actually rotating to bot side. Because of where Vex is, like, we're just going to get 2 plates here. Huge gap, and just, like, in lane and on its own. We're up 1.6k gold. Gonna collect probably another plate here on the next wave, just because the next wave coming in is cannon. To even there on the champion or on the player's like recall, he didn't even without vision. He just timed. He knew exactly when they were gonna be there. Hits an accelerated shock blast to cash in his 12-second first strike. Sees what's going on in Dragon. Unfortunately, not much he can do. It was a 1v3 for the Gragas. Not doing anything crazy, going to a play that's already doomed. He's making sure that he's maximizing his gold, his lead himself, because that's just going to draw the enemy team to him. Because he has TP, he's going to reset on this wave, and he's going to TP back. He's only missing out on 1 minion. He didn't even lose the XP for it. He was still in range, so... I think he has completed his item. Yeah, he's got his Eclipse. He's TP back mid. Gets double longsword. Perfectly times it so as he's about to finish his recall, he's able to get the second longsword. Now they're not going to expect how much damage he's going to do at this Rift Herald fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to pick up like a double kill here. Yeah, huge damage coming off. This Fiora is way out of position now. He lands everything. She could probably die. I think she's got Vex coming with her, so she's not that afraid yet. There comes the Vex. Seeing if they can get any extra little thing, but just because of this HP, he can't really go to mid. He has to get a recall. If they were able to clear that ward, to still get a little bit more XP, a little bit more gold. Because of that kill, he's probably going to finish his boots. You can see he finishes boots' lucidity. Lost one plate, but it didn't look like Vex was even there to collect it because she decided she wanted to roam to bot lane. He's not even missing out on a huge wave here either because this was a cannon wave, so he was able to collect 2 minions of it at the end there. Now, he wants to be in the long lane just because his bot lane won so hard that they took their turret, so he's rotating to the long lane. And if Vex is the one who's matching him in that, he's definitely going to kill them. He can probably even 1v2 this Senna Cho'Gath just because probably they're pretty far behind themselves. Not going to do anything crazy, doesn't need to, but if an opportunity presents itself, he will look for it. You can see he sees the Cho'Gath is alone now. Going to collect a lot of gold. Going to chase him. He should be able to pick him up. Oh, picks up a double kill with the accelerated shock blast right there. Opportune timing. Definitely was at the minimum going to get the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath didn't really have anywhere to go, but getting the Senna as well. And now because of that, mid lane is going to pick up their turret, and he's going to be able to pick up his turret here, which this turret is worth 685 gold, so it's a lot. When he collects this turret, we're going to see how much gold he's gotten. Backs up just because he could be getting collapsed on. Honestly, he probably could have stayed. It was only Senna and Cho'Gath, but he probably felt maybe a lag spike at that point in time or something, looking like he's seeing if he can bait them into overstepping. Does get 3-man, but Gragas makes it worth it. You can see there, so that's a tip for like at this point in time. He uses his W, range forms all of the melees once, and then swaps to hammer form, and then his Q clears the entirety of the melees. That was like, you could see he even did it right there again. And that's the fastest way to clear like the waves as the Jayce, so he's just making sure he's maximizing it. That's a small optimization for any of you Jayce players out there. Does have TP up. Looking to reset. Probably has the gold to finish his man immune. He's going to TP to mid. Yep. Finishes man immune. Picks up that wave mid, so that way they're not losing turret back. At this point, the objective bounties are going to start kicking in here soon. So he's trying to make sure that that turret's not low, so that way when objective bounties kick in, they don't lose him. Because Yasuo has TP up, he's going to take the long lane. So Jayce is going to come over to the side where the team is. Knows the dragon's already gone just because of how long they've been on it. He didn't bother walking over. Now that there's possibly a kill opportunity, he's coming over, but he didn't waste time coming over to it when it was just the dragon. Very good knock away. He's probably going to save his life here. Yeah. Probably will finish this wave and then look for his reset. He always wants to make sure that anytime he can shove a wave, he's shoving it before he looks for his reset, maximizing all the resources that he's getting. You can see here, at this point, he has a 3,100 gold lead over his opponent, direct roll, and is the second richest player in the game, behind the Aphelios, who's extremely fed as well. But he is averaging 9 CS per minute. He's not really missed out on much. He's collected 3 turret plates himself. Just playing extremely, extremely optimally. So he's going to go in the long lane because the bot lanes always collect the mid lanes, the easiest defensible, exactly like I've talked about. And he can pretty much kill anybody who's caught on the side lane, except for Fiora with her ult up. As long as Fiora has her ult, does not have her ult up, he can't kill her. Doesn't see where Bel'Veth is, but does see that Fiora's bot lane, so he's not really that afraid of just Vex. Probably just looking to collect his gold. Did see the bot lane roam into their topside river, though. Fortunately, he is getting Giga collapsed on. Probably he's going to die here. That was probably a 4-man, to be honest with you, because Senna was on her way over at least 2, so it was 3. Has TP up. Probably should have been going bot lane here, but honestly, he can actually just walk over to the Baron right now, because if they look for like a real fight with his team here, like enemy's already down 2 players, they're about to collect this Baron, like it's a good situation for him to be in, because now he can save his TP to optimally use the Baron afterwards. He's looking for his lane assignment, so it looks like he's gonna take the bot lane just because Yasuo claimed top, so he's gonna run over, try and catch that wave before it hits the turret. Knows that the enemy team is in the bot side river, which probably signals that Bel'Veth is looking to gank. Yeah, just dodges that Vexel just by a little bit, but he could sniff something out basically because of their vision line that they'd set up. As a team, he spotted that 2 people were roaming to him in bot lane. Usually means that there was some play going on there, which just happened to be the Bel'Vex was hiding in the bush and the Vex was waiting in river to collapse on him. Once again, the Bel'Veth was waiting in the bush, but because he Jayce shock blasted in there, the Bel'Veth thought he had him on vision.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Gonna get a lot of damage onto Bel'Veth here. and soak the Cho'Gath eat. Basically game-winning fight right there. Probably is going to use that to take inhibitors. Because you can see just because of how fed he was, like he just deleted Bel'Veth.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Killing spree. Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Red team has slain the dragon.
He's going in the long lane because you can see Fiora's bot. But because his team keeps losing fights, he's actually going to come over. Makes sense. Dodges the fear coming out of the Zonias or the stopwatch. And he's about to kill this Bel'Veth. This Bel'Veth walks in the wrong location. They're instantly dead. Oh, now he sees everybody's coming for him though. He's probably looking to just trade one for one because they're definitely gonna get to him in time. Unfortunate. But just because the enemy team was able to pick off the Thresh before and the Gragas, there's not much he could do. Nobody's collecting the mid wave. He's running down mid. Then he's gonna probably rotate into bot lane after clearing the wave. Wants to keep that mid pressure up. Now he's on his way bot. Looking to probably pick up that Bel'Veth on the return. Knows already that he can one-shot the Bel'Veth. Ooh. Very close fight, though. Bel'Veth has got some hands now. She can look for a dive on him, so he makes sure he resets. He does have TP. TP's up to top side, where the Aphelios is already on the inhibitor. These two, if unchecked by the enemy team, can literally end the game. So the enemy team are feeling extremely pressured to get a recall off here. Looks like Vex is the only one that was able to get the recall off before Yasuo stops them, which probably means that they could just win the game right here. Only Cho'Gath, and unless the game does something really weird, they're pretty much just going to end the game here. Very nice. Very cleanly played, very nice. There's a lot that you can learn from a player like this if you're a laner. Like, it's important that you don't, like, your teammates can make mistakes, but you don't want to make them your mistakes. Join my Discord and submit your games for the next VOD review.